Are you a little bit worried about what to say, how to say it, and when to say it? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you several insights that are going to help you be able to start getting ready to ask for a promotion as a leader. And I'm also going to share with you the number one reason why people tend to struggle and why they tend to delay with asking for promotion, so that you can get past this reason and ask for your promotion a bit sooner than what you maybe had anticipated doing on in the past. Now, the reason why people really struggle with promotions is because it is a high stakes conversation. And if you are new to my channel, or this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you are one of my amazing subscribers, welcome back, friend. I'm glad that you're here. And this channel heavily focuses on high stakes, high pressure communication, because my role is to help you be able to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. Asking for a promotion is definitely in that category. So we're going to talk about that today. There's a couple things that I would mention to you just to start off. If you are in a leadership role and you are thinking about asking for a promotion, the very first insight I want to share with you is really the reason why people delay asking promotions. Typically, there is something that's happened. Maybe something didn't work out on a project. Maybe there's something you've been struggling with at work. And in the back of your mind, you are thinking that they're not going to give me a promotion because of X, whatever X is. And I want to help you from an executive coaching standpoint to think about this just a little bit differently, because if you continue to dwell on what is that thing that you're stressed out about, you feel like maybe you haven't been hitting the mark at work, there's something you're struggling with, there's a lot more that you have offered to your organization, to your company, that likely is something that will overshadow the one thing that you're worried about. Now, before I go into this more, I want to say hello to Kat 23rd. Hello, Kat. Good to see you today. Kat says, finally. Hello, Kat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody who's joining live today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. And if you are trying to get promoted at your specific job, let's talk about what you need to say, how you need to say it in the next 10 minutes. Let me know what question you have about this, and I will give you some insights to share to help you on your journey. We have, let's see, the name, I see Justa, and I'm sorry, I'm driving, so it's hard for me to read the entire name, but welcome. And Justa says you work at any place. I'm not sure if you're referring to myself or just saying generally speaking, but let me know what questions you all have about asking for a promotion and how I can help you today. Justa, let me see. Justa, I see Feltenberger. I hope I got that correct. Okay, Justa says, I worked at a plumbing place. Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Well, welcome. So if you're looking to ask for a raise or promotion, I'm going to give you just a couple general strategies really quickly to help you. I may go into this in a bit more detail this evening when I go live, and it'll be probably a bit more specific to my target audience of women in leadership to talk about promotions, because this is Women's Month. Now, I mentioned earlier that typically the reason why people struggle with asking for promotions, they don't want to ask for a promotion, is because there is something that they have done, there's something that they feel like is going to prevent them from getting a promotion. Maybe you have a specific issue you're dealing with at work. Maybe it's time management, maybe it's attendance, maybe it's completing projects and etc. And typically what I've seen people do is that they will keep that thought in the back of their mind, and they will say, I'm not going to ask for a promotion because I'm not going to get it. I want to make sure that you have done a lot of things in your roles, and just because there's one aspect that you may be struggling with, that doesn't mean that you cannot get a promotion. One of the reasons, and I appreciate the heart emojis, one of the things that I have seen that happens a lot of times when you are in promotions, there's a bit of negotiation that happens there. Thank you for the heart emojis. Anytime you're in a negotiation or in some type of conversation, you do have to say the objection, so to speak. So if you know maybe time management is an issue for you, maybe attendance is an issue for you, Maybe follow through is an issue for you, but you know that you've done a lot of work and made a huge impact on the organization, then you have to state those objections first. Why? Because if you already are talking to your hiring manager and saying to them, and thank you for the heart emojis and the smiley faces, you're saying to them, I know I have had some challenges with, let's say, attendance, and there's a couple things that I have restructured on my end, so that should not be a problem moving forward. Or maybe you can say, I know I've had some challenges with time management in the past, but I want to highlight what I've done that has been a huge success, where I've had to manage time better. If you have an objection and there's something you're concerned about, think about what is the one thing that you have done or will be doing that can address it. Many times people don't ask for promotions because they are scared. And if you're watching this video or subscribe to my channel, this is definitely not what I want for you. Even if you have not been 100% perfect, you still can ask for a promotion. You just have to form it in such a way to where you make a good argument. Now, before I go into the next strategy I want to share with you, let me go in the chat. Cat 23rd says, can consistency play a role in getting promoted? Cat, yes. And that's actually my next topic I was going to talk about. You are reading my mind, friend. Yes, consistency plays a huge role in being promoted. Now, if you are consistently working on a project, or you are consistently doing well at something, that task, that project needs to be at the very, very forefront of your conversation when you are planning for a promotion. It has to be there. I mean, in front of the conversation. You have done this consistently. You have done that consistently. Now, I will tell you something, and this is just from my perspective as a C-suite. I didn't necessarily do this, but I know a lot of hiring managers that do. And this is just a secret I'm sharing with you. What happens sometimes, if there is an issue, if there is an attendance issue, if there is a task issue, a time management issue, if you have been consistent with that, this is the counter of it. If you've been very consistent with it and it has been a challenge, your manager, if they are an average manager, okay, if they're an average manager, they will literally freeze you in time. And you may be wondering, what do I mean by that? Some managers, if they are average, and I'm talking to the average managers, they will just always remember, this person comes in late, this person has a hard time managing time, this person is not able to complete tasks. Even though you may be doing things very well, they will freeze you in time. And that's an average manager. So you have to have an idea of what kind of manager are you working with. Now, there are many above average managers who do not think that way. We know life happens, things happen, but we focus more so on the results that you are doing, how consistent you are in terms of generating results or generating revenue or whatever the case may be. This is what above average managers or exceptional managers do. So you have to kind of know what kind of manager you have. That's really important. But that consistency plays a huge role. So if you are thinking about a promotion and maybe you're saying to yourself, I have been doing really well, but I don't feel like I'm quite ready yet to ask for a promotion, then this is the time for you to focus in on what you are doing very well and make that at the forefront of your promotion conversation. Excuse me, if you're not ready to be promoted just yet, anytime you have conversations with your hiring manager, you want to showcase your successes. Many times what happens, especially with women in leadership and men in leadership, we get into the place where we just keep working, and we don't really showcase what we have done. And this is just a part of being a high achiever. We are the individuals who will take care of a goal or reach a goal and say, what's the next one? Reach that goal, what's the next one? And we don't take time to really celebrate our wins. If you're trying to prepare yourself for promotion, you have to think about your mindset a bit differently and start celebrating those wins in a very, very public way. Whether you are celebrating that with your team, whether you are bringing that up to a board meeting or to a large group of individuals, you have to start celebrating your successes. Why? Because if you are celebrating your successes publicly in your organization, then people are going to start seeing it. And that in itself will build a significant amount of goodwill and credibility to you as the leader that surpasses your boss. Not only your boss sees it, but other peers see it, your coworkers see it. Your direct reports see it. People start to see it. So if your organization has a board, or they have a newsletter or some communication or something along the lines that they do with their organization, you definitely want to try to put your successes in front of them so that it goes to everybody else. Another department, let's say if your company doesn't have any communications and you're trying to prepare for a promotion, another department that you may want to showcase your expertise and your successes to is human resources. Do not sleep on human resources. People think human resources is only if you are in trouble or if you're having a problem. It's not. Human resources, believe it or not, can be a very strong ally for you if you're trying to prepare for a promotion. Now, I'm sharing with you insights that are really secrets to help you start planning for a promotion, because many people don't talk about these. And thank you for the heart emojis, because they don't know how to ask about it. There's some preparation you have to do to prepare for a promotion. And if you are that person, that leader, that individual that is truly making that big impact on everyone, and the group, the company starts to see it, it's going to make your chances for a promotion a lot easier than what you would have if you only did it by yourself and just went to your office and said, oh, by the way, manager, boss, supervisor, I want a promotion. Build up some goodwill. There's ways for you to do it. And if you have questions about it or you need to develop a strategy around it, then contact me if you're a woman in leadership for an executive strategy session on exciteexcellence.org. All right, let me take a look at the chat really quickly. Kat says, mind reading. Yes, that is correct. Kat says, when asking for a raise, is it important on how the approach is displayed? Yes, Kat. So what I'm going to do this evening when I go live, I'm going to screenshot this because this is actually a part of what I'm going to talk about this evening, particularly for women leaders. So we'll talk a bit more about how you approach the actual conversation of having a raise. We'll talk about that a little bit more this evening. We have 419 Gas City. Welcome. How are you doing today? Consistency and positivity will get the check at any job. Yes, that's a really good point. And you should absolutely subscribe to the channel because this is what we talk about every single day. And also 419 Gas City says, be confident in your conversations. Yes, this is what this channel focuses on. We focus specifically on high stakes, high pressure conversations, which this is one of them when you're asking for a promotion. So we're going to talk a bit more about that this evening. Kat, I will definitely answer your question and give you more, I would say, of a template to think about as it relates to that actual conversation you have when you're trying to be promoted. Gas City came up with some really great insights also, because being confident in your conversations is important. Kat mentioned about how consistency is really important as well. And this is something that you definitely want to do if you're trying to ask for a promotion. Kat says, okay, Jazz City says, subscribe, beautiful. Well, thank you for subscribing, friend. Welcome, welcome. Hope to see you later this evening or tomorrow. Kat says, looking forward to the live later. Yes, Kat, we'll go into some specifics and let's go into it, and I'll give you some support to help you be able to ask for that next promotion. And Jennifer Fitzpatrick, hello Jennifer, how you doing today? Welcome, welcome. I'm finishing up the live, but join me later this evening. We're going to talk a bit more about what you need to say in your promotions, and it'll be a bit more focused on my women in leadership, because there's a lot of things we have to talk about as it relates to being promoted as women. So I will see you all in the next live.